much as I love a well-packed item, this is the third layer I've had to go through to get down to this. And it's ludicrous. I mean, thank you very much, eBay seller, for packing it in such a way as that it wouldn't be, you know, damaged or anything. It's just, you know, oh, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me why you would need to do this. It's just one solid mass of sticky tape. Now, what have we got here anyway? This is underneath the sticky tape. Rare release, Australia, New Zealand, Tri-ang R56 Baltic Tank, 1950s locomotive, model 4830. Only 16,000 made. Well, it's one of 16,000. Is that a limited edition? I don't know, but where's all the rest of them? That's what I'd like to know. Anyway, this is a bit of a wreck. I bought it as a wreck, and but I've always wanted one, or since I knew what they were, and this is the first time I've seen it. So it's pretty bad, but we'll have a look. Let me just try and get the rest of this tape off. If I don't, you know, cut the locomotive to pieces in the process. Come on now. So much sticky tape. So much sticky tape. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now this is the Australian and New Zealand version. Now, we'll talk about that in a minute. Can we get it out of here? Can we get, oh, okay. Let's get rid of that and see what we've got. So, it's pretty crusty, but it's complete. It's missing its headlight lens on the front, and it's missing the bracket and the headlight completely off the back. But I knew that. And of course it's missing its decals on the side, but I've got replacements for those. And she's pretty grubby. This is just an initial look. As you can see, the connecting rods are on upside down. And being the Australian one, because I suppose for reasons of cost cutting and you know, and all that sort of thing being put together here, they didn't put in the Walschaerts valve gear. So all of the Australian and New Zealand produced ones have got just the plain valve gear. And oh look, there's a great big there's a big sort of solder melt mark on the side there. Are we going? It's terribly difficult to film black on black. Oh yeah, we can get a bit of a shine there. You can see that. But I think this is going to have to be worked on, this body shell. I think that may have to be sanded down with 1500 or 2000 grit wet and dry very delicately, and the body shell may have to be polished a bit. You can see this is a 1958 variant. It's still got, where's it? Can I have? Let me have a little pointing device. It's still got its whistle, which is amazing, and it doesn't have brass safety valves. They're just moulded plastic. So who knows? Australia may have clung on to the old tooling from the acetate days and just moulded them in polystyrene, because this is polystyrene, it's not acetate. And you can hear that. You can just tell by the sound of it, by tapping it, that it's polystyrene. Because if that was acetate, instead of it going clank like that, it would go thud, because there's a completely different sound to the two plastics, because the cellulose acetate is a soft plastic. So what have we got? Let's have a look underneath. Now this is what I did suspect. I saw this in the photographs, that it's got some very weird replacement screws here and here. These are not the way they should be. Oh, the wheels. Oh dear. Okay. They're pretty rough. It looks as if it's been pushed along on the concrete or something, or on a cement path while it was being played with in a child's sand pit or something. But never mind. Now how does it come apart? Screw down the chimney? Yes, screw down the chimney. As Oscar would say, that makes it a proper toy train. Oh, this hasn't been out in a while. Oh, let me get my hands out of the way. I think I've got a suitable container there with some old rivets in it. There we go. Oh, look at this. Signs of corrosion, and it's been wet. Let's just say that. Let's pop that in there. Now this must lift off. There we go. Oh, it has a motor. What have we got inside here? Are we going to be able to get that? Hang on, where do I get a light? So, all right, now what have we got? I knew there was a step broken, but this one's still on there. So we can use that one as a pattern, and I'll make another step. I've had so many locomotives with broken steps. Yes, it says in here, made in New Zealand and Australia. Oh yes, there we go. We can just see that. We're going to get focus. Made in New Zealand and Australia. I think I did it. And of course it just has on this end the usual Tri-ang There's an R56 somewhere. Oh, this is hopeless. I won't do this. I'm no good at this at all. I'm absolutely hopeless at all this sort of thing. But anyway, there's the body. So I have to make a new set of steps for one side, but that's okay. I have had to make new steps for a jinty and a little 040. So, you know, they're pretty easy to make. The rear headlight, there's a bracket missing. I'll probably have to make a bracket, again out of sheet polystyrene, and paint it black. I'll make the proper bracket. And I've ordered, somebody on eBay is selling 3D printed versions of these headlights, complete with the lenses. Now I don't have to replace the front one because it's already there, but it would be nice to have a lens in it. But it'd be nice, I might put a 3D printed version on the back, depending on how good they look. Who knows? But yes, I'm amazed that that whistle is still there, given that it's sticking up above the roof line like that, and it hasn't been broken off. It's incredible. There's a few scratches and things on this side as well, you can see, and the whole thing's just a bit decrepit. And I read in Pat Hammond's book that the early polystyrene models had a very shiny appearance that made them look like acetate. And it wasn't until they did a bit of work on the tooling that gave the later Tri-ang models that sort of slightly matte finish. So this is pretty shiny. And, you know, if it was polished up, it would look like acetate, but it's not. So this is obviously an early polystyrene, or given that this is the Australian version, this tooling that was used to make this would have been the same tooling that would have been used to make the acetate models, and it was probably shipped out to Australia. Oh yes, I saw this on eBay too. This corner you can see that corner is broken off or it's cracked. So that will need to be carefully manipulated back into place and glued. But at least it's there and it's not broken off completely. So that can be repaired as well. So yes, it is a wreck, but you know, worth it because I've been looking for one for a long time. Now let's have a look in here. Ooh, okay. It's all there. Oh, I wonder if that... Oh, the screw's half out of the motor. Oh, there's one of the bogie screws. Oh my goodness. They've used it to hold them. And there's the other one. They're the two bogie screws. Oh, how brilliant. Okay, just let me pause this for a second. In my bag of tricks, in my spare parts, I've got some original Tri-ang screws. And if I've got two of the right sort that fit in there, I won't have to buy bogie screws. I'm sure I've got two of them. Yes, there's one and there's the other. Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's a relief. I was thinking I'd have to order these bogie screws from, I think I had to get them from England. And I didn't really want to have to wait that long. But okay, let's get those packed away. They can go back into the spare parts department. Isn't that funny? Fancy doing that. Let's get this out. That can't have been making very good contact there, because the shoulder would have been stopping it from going all the way home. So let's put this one in its place. Get my hands out of the way and watch what I'm doing. This has got a sort of a slightly poorly machined screw slot in it. Let's just move that away from the gear, and we might get a chance eventually to apply some power to this and see what happens. There's the other bogie screw. Let's take that one out of there. Oh, this magnet's weak, I think. I'm going to have to remagnetise it. Oh, it's not too bad. Put that there with the other one. Actually, I'll put those in there. We'll pop this one down in here where it belongs. Oh! How does this look? Does the motor turn? Yes, the motor turns, and it rotates the wheels. The brushes look all right. Look at the state of those wheels. Do you think they need a clean? Just a tiny bit. I have to know if this is going to fit. Now, somewhere here I've got a little Phillips head screwdriver, if I could only find it. I hope this isn't a self-tapper. Please don't let this be a self-tapper, because it will have ruined the thread otherwise. Oh, it is. Oh dear. I wonder if there's enough thread left for this to go down in. I'm sorry, my hand's in the way here. Oh, I think this is going to work. The self-tapper hasn't ruined all of the thread. She goes home quite beautifully. Oh, wonderful. Okay, there's hope for this one. I wonder if this is a self-tapper as well. Self-tapper. Good grief. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What have we got? Oh, it's another metal. Oh, dear. Now, what have we got here? We've got some sort of washer on it or something? No? Okay. Let's try the other one. Is it the right sort of screw? Yes, it is. Fortunately, these are quite long, and the self-tappers they used were quite short. So fortunately, they used, the self-tappers they used were quite short compared to the screws that are supposed to go in there. So hopefully there'll be enough thread left to allow this to go home. This will be completely dismantled and cleaned. Oh, that's tight. These are 8BA, and oh, it's going into die cast. So I'm hoping it's cutting its way back in there. The original thread would still be in the die cast. It'll just be all pushed out of shape. So if worst comes to worst, I can get a I can get an 8BA tap. I think this will find its way home. I think it is. I was dreading having to buy a tap and tap them out. No, that's fine. That's done well. The contacts are terrible, but at least it's got the right screws in there. So having just put those bogies on, I think what I might do is now take them off. Now that I've proved that they can actually be screwed back in, and I've got all the screws, which is fantastic. I hope this isn't too mangled, this brass screw. I don't think it will. I'm hoping the brass is harder than the die cast. Oh dear, yes, look, this is pretty grubby, but as I said, this will all be cleaned up. The wheels are battered, but they're all there. And the cow catchers are all there, and the couplings are all there. This one needs a bit of a tweak, you know, but no big deal. Now let's have a look at this screw thread. Yes, the screw thread is fine. The screw thread has survived beautifully. Okay. Yes, I'm sure it just cut its way back into the die cast. Well, that's what I'm telling myself anyway. The back one went in really easily, so I don't think there's any trouble with that, with the thread on that back bogie at all. Again, yes, needs a good clean. Coupling's rusty, but it's all there. That's good. Let's pop those away there for safekeeping. And yes, oh yeah, you can still see the remnants of the thread in there. Oh yes, it'll be fine. By the time those screws have been run in and out a couple of times, it'll be fine. Now, let me see what I can find. If I pop that up on there, and I pop that up on there, I should be able to apply some power. Now we've got some leads here. My layout is sitting directly over my left shoulder, so I've got a very long clip lead, and I can clip it to the track and then use the controller this motor may be dead. How are we going to do this? I've done it the wrong way around. Let's turn this around the other way. That's better. Let's clip that onto there. And then see. Oh, she's dead. Oh, it wants to go. Let's give it full power. It wants to turn. Oh, I say. Look at that. She's a goer. Well, what a relief. Oh, so the motor's not burned out? Fantastic. Well, that was on full power and you could see how slowly it was running. So there's a lot of work to be done on this, but I am thrilled that I've got all the screws, so I don't have to wait for weeks waiting for them to come from the UK. Much as we love, love, love our UK suppliers, because without them, where would we be? So this is going to require a complete strip down. The motor will have to come out and be completely repaired. The wheels, I mean, the state of the wheels is just shocking. So they'll need to be taken out and off. I'll probably have to take them off the axles. I've got new sleeves if I need them. Everything will have to come out and come apart and be fully cleaned. So I don't know that I'd be capable of filming all that. So we'll leave it for now and see how we go. What I'm going to do, no, I'm not. I'm going to try it again. Let's try this one more time, just for fun. Helps if I untangle the wires a bit, give myself an even chance. Let's try it on half power. No. And you can hear it speeding up. That is something to behold, isn't it? To see such a decrepit model still come to life. These Tri-ang models are almost impossible to kill. And even in such a neglected state. Oh, I can't wait to get this all going. And I've got the decals, I've got the new Tri-ang ovals to go on here. And by the time this is all cleaned and polished and looking gorgeous, I think it'll be a very different looking locomotive. It will be wonderful. So on that note, we'll finish up and I'll come back with part 2 when it's done.